We are very happy to have you among us today, Sangeeta, Shankar, and Sumesh, the Gain Enabler. Welcome, Sangeeta, to our IFA Galaxy forum today. We are very happy that you consented to speak to us today. I'll just make you bring you once again. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So when I was forwarded her profile, I was forwarded a profile from Mr. Babu Krishnamurthy. I was trying to understand what it meant, the gain enabler is. I found that it's a person one that enables another to achieve an end. Then I was so happy to see that. Then because all of us are gain enablers only in one way or the other, we all try to make the other achieve their goals. Particularly we MFDs are all gain enablers too. So you are one among us. We are very happy to have you today here. So and also I was so inspired and motivated to see Sangeeta's profile, because I do not want to stand in between. As such, we are running out of time, so I'll just give you the Sangeeta's profile. I was so inspired to see lots of achievements under the thing. Sangeeta contributes by creating a positive impact through high performance and high profits. As a founder and CEO of Gaintastic, hope I've pronounced it right. Yeah. Sangeeta is on a mission to enable, empower, and elevate businesses with a purpose to serve entrepreneurs, leaders, and teams to shine and succeed. She brings along a rich corporate experience of 25 years with multinationals, and her latest position was as a ED and CFO of Dun and Bradstreet Technologies. Sangeeta is also chartered accountant, management accountant, and completed the executive education from Harvard Business School. She is a high performance business coach from International Coaching Federation, PCC, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of What the Finance and Get High. A few accolades she had received is awarded as a leading women CFO in India, Nightingale Award by the Society of Auditors, Innovator in Finance at International Women Leaders Forum, awarded the 100 Inspiring Authors of India, Outstanding Professional Award by FICCI. She's a professional speaker at many of the national and international events, forums, and corporates on business, finance, high performance, and leadership. She believes in value creation for her clients. She's an independent director in IFB Industries Limited. Married to Sumesh, mother of two, and balances her personal, professional, social, and spiritual life as an art of living practitioner. So excited to invite you for a forum today. Over to you, Sangeeta. Thank you.
Thank you, Shobna, and thank you, Babu, for having me over. So very, very good afternoon to all of you. How are you all doing today? How was your session? Are you excited, to meet everybody virtually and connect? Great. Okay. So here I am, and I'm going to talk to you about, yes, Get High. So you're probably wondering, what is Get High about? It has nothing to do with anything like this. So it is just to say how you can get high on your performance. So what I'm going to talk to you about is basically how you can coach yourself for high performance in whatever work that you do, in whatever area of your choice, and how you can truly live up to whatever your dreams are. So that is what my talk for today is going to revolve. So firstly, I want to tell you, I want to ask you rather, how many of you want high performance, right? Tell me, because how would you feel when you achieve the kind of high performance, the kind of performance that you want in whatever walk of life, in whatever sphere of life that you're in? How would that make you feel? I would be, really happy to see some. I know that we are virtually interacting with each other. Yes, it would feel great, Babu. Of course, yes. How else would you feel? I mean, wouldn't you really feel on top of the world? Yes, thank you, Mohan. Yes. So you're just going to feel fly high. Absolutely right, Natarajan. Yes, exactly. That's the kind of feeling that you would get when you are achieving whatever you want to. You'll feel great, undoubtedly, yes. And it's such a nice feeling because you feel so accomplished, you feel so happy, you feel so satisfied about your own self. And that's the speciality of high performance, because you make your own self feel good about what you're doing. So that is what is high performance. But why high performance? Why is it that everybody wants high performance? Before I answer that, tell me, is there anybody who doesn't want high performance, right? Is there anybody who doesn't want? Yes, you will also feel proud, and that is what all of us are constantly trying for. Absolutely right, Srinivasan. Yes. So, is there anybody who doesn't want high performance? I have conducted so many sessions on high performance, especially on Get High, and I'm yet to come across any person who says, no, I don't want high performance. So, be it individuals, be it organizations, corporates, everybody wants to be a high performer in their own domain. And that is what I think makes high performance something so important. And you actually go ahead, give your best in what you're doing, and you channelize your energies in the right path, and thereby you do become a high performer that you want and achieve your high performance dreams. So we're talking so much about high performance, but what is high performance? To state it simply, achieving superior results by performing at a high standard is what is high performance. And you set your own targets, whatever that you want to achieve, you are the one who's actually creating the kind of high performance that you want. So that's the speciality of high performance, whereby you're actually becoming a better version of your own self. So you get to your next level of performance, and thereby constantly striving to improve and be at your peak of the performance. So that is what high performance is about. I always say, if YOU were an acronym, it means you are outstanding and unique. You are outstanding and unique. That's an acronym. Remember that. And because you are unique and you are outstanding. So whenever you want to pep yourself up, remember this acronym, because you are outstanding and you are unique. That's the speciality of each one of us here, I would say. So in high performance, especially when you want to strive and achieve high performance in an area of your choice, basically you compete with your own self. The focus is on you. You are the one in the spotlight and not others, right? Because by exceeding your own expectations, you achieve high performance in whatever domain that you want, whatever field of your choice. Now, let me give you a small example. This is from my real life. This happened a few years ago. I have never been a sports person in my life, right? But then I think it was a midlife crisis. And then I said, I have never done anything in sports. I have done, arts, craft, music, dance, and everything. But sports was one area that was a bit of a void. So due to midlife, and my husband was an inspiration as well. So what I did is I slowly started getting into walking, and then slowly jogging, and then into marathons, and then eventually into a triathlon. So this was, I think, about 6-7 years ago. I managed to complete 1.5 kilometers of open water swimming, followed by 40 kilometers of cycling, and then 10 kilometers of swimming. And it was in one hot July afternoon in Chennai. And you know how the summers are in Chennai, right? Now, the reason I'm quoting this for you is, being, not a sports person, and, doing this in the heat was really, really tough for me. Now, what had happened, we started, the swimming started, it was a little late for whatever reason. And the swimming started only by about 7:30. So which meant, I think probably 8:30, 8:45 is when I started my cycling. And by the time I finished the cycling, or rather when I was halfway through the cycling, I think it was something like 10 o'clock or so, and it was exceptionally hot that day. And you know what? When I was completed the halfway mark and I was taking a U-turn, the organizers had actually organized for a van. They said, in case people don't want to complete it, you can, put the cycle in the van, and we will take you all the way back, and it would mean that you have not completed the triathlon. Believe me, it was so tempting to take up the offer, because the mind voice that was going on in me is, have I gone mad? Am I crazy? Why am I doing this torture to myself in this heat? Am I, like getting an Olympic medal for India? Why am I even doing all this? So this was what was going on in my mind, and I was quite tempted to take up the offer. But luckily for me, there was another mind voice as well, which said, hey, listen, you've already completed 50% of it. And if you don't complete the balance, you're going to be like, did not finish, and it's not really going to help anybody. But if you complete, you can always say that, yes, I managed to complete this triathlon. So why do you want to give up? So luckily, I followed the second advice of my mind, and I managed to complete this triathlon. And it was an amazing feeling for me personally, because it was something I had never dreamt of doing. And especially coming from a non-sports background, this was a way that I could challenge myself and, restore the belief and confidence in myself that all you need is to put your mind to it and you can achieve what you want. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is a small example of high performance in an area that I decided to do for my own self. And how did I manage to coach myself for high performance, especially, during those times when you're, battling, the mind voice, the inner voice is always trying to come up with excuses, reasons, and, it's always easy to give up. But it's during those challenging moments that we need to be extra careful and take those right decisions, which will help us navigate the way forward and achieve high performance in whatever that you want to do. So now I'm going to talk to you about how you can go about doing it. By the way, my book, Get High, which is how to coach yourself on high performance in your work, has a lot of tips, tricks, techniques that you can follow. And I'm going to be talking about some of those today, and I'm going to share that with you. And the book Get High is also being endorsed by New York Times bestsellers, Marshall Goldsmith, Ron Kaufman, and also some of the other senior industry leaders, including Mr. Sunil Subramaniam, who is the CEO of Sundaram Asset, and quite a few others. So if you like reading, do get a copy of the book, and you can put to use some of those techniques. But today I'm going to share some of these tips, tricks, tools, and some of the keys for achieving high performance. So first, the first key. So before I tell you what it is, let me quickly tell you an incident that happened recently. I'm quite active on LinkedIn. And well, by the way, if you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm happy. I'm Sangeeta Sumesh on LinkedIn. So what happened, I keep posting a lot of articles and content. So once recently, I had published an article that spoke about breaking the coaching myths, because I'm also a coach, and I thought it would be helpful for people to break away and break free from the myths of coaching. So in that article, I had also written about, a lot of people confuse a mentor and a coach, and many times people tend to use both these things very loosely, and including myself, before I knew what coaching was all about. So mentor and a coach, people think it's quite similar. And therefore, in the article that I wrote, I had given the differences between a mentor and a coach, what role a mentor plays, and then what role a coach plays, what is the difference, and few other things. Well, there were quite a few people, especially in my coaching community, who appreciated and acknowledged that article. In fact, it was also published by somebody else, some of the HR groups, and I got a lot of interesting comments and feedback and appreciation for it. There was one person on LinkedIn, and I think he said something to the effect that this article does not bring about the usefulness of mentoring. And so the moment I saw it, I was a little taken aback, and I was like, oh, have I missed something in writing this article? And a lot of thoughts came across my mind, and I was just wondering, why is this person saying like this? And I didn't feel too good about it, honestly, because I felt I have probably missed something important to my potential reader. But as I reflected on it, there was something that emerged in me. Now, my article was actually focused on coaching. The title was Break Free from the Coaching Myths. it was not to say break free from the mentoring myths, right? And that's when it dawned on me to say, hey, my article is about coaching, and obviously the focus is about coaching, right? So why am I going to talk about mentoring? Because that's not my specialty. That's not my core area. So that's when I realized that I didn't have the lack of clarity. I didn't have enough clarity, or rather I lacked clarity. And that's when it took me those 5 minutes that I was able to reflect and think through this. So the common challenge that a lot of people face is not having enough clarity when you want to achieve your high performance. So what is the key to get over that is purposefulness. How purposeful are you in whatever that you're doing? What is actually driving you to do what you want? So then when I reflected on it, I realized, like I said, my purpose was to talk about coaching and not mentoring. And that's the key I want you to understand, having the purposefulness in whatever that you're doing, because when you know your purpose, it becomes a lot easier to achieve the high performance that you want. So the second common challenge that many people face with regards to high performance is on time management. So let me again share with you a real life anecdote that happened. This was with a client of mine, an entrepreneur. And during my coaching conversation with this particular client, he told me that he was talking about two things, two important things. One challenge that he was facing as an entrepreneur was that he was not finding enough time to grow his business. He said, I have a lot of potential customers in my pipeline, and I know they're all very interested in getting my products and services, but it's just that I have not managed to have the time to go and approach them, speak to them, and basically convert them all into my customers. So this was a key challenge that he was facing. Now, during the coaching conversation, what we also realized was this time challenge that he was having. I asked him how else he was utilizing his time. He gave me an interesting answer. This person is not from a technology background, and he was in the process of setting up a beautiful website for his business. And he didn't want to outsource it because he wanted to save that extra money. And therefore, he started learning how to build his own website. And he had spent a considerable amount of time in building a beautiful website. The website was very beautiful indeed. But then, when he had this challenge of time, I asked him, I said, if you had invested the time that you had spent in building the website into your business and, converting to your potential customers, how would that have been for the business? How much more revenue would you have got? That's when I asked him, and he realized, had I actually spent the time in my business, I would have made a lot more money. And, I was just looking at saving some little money and not growing my top line. And I thought this was a valuable lesson, because sometimes we don't tend to manage our time wisely, and that does not result in high performance. So the key is delegation, right? Many times I've noticed people don't like to delegate a lot of things they're doing, but then I would urge you to just take a moment's pause and see which is more effective in your high performance journey, and let you to decide that. So that is the second key I wanted to talk to you about. The third common challenge for high performance. Thank you, Natarajan. So the third common challenge for high performance is being all huddled up within your comfort zone. People don't like to step out of their comfort zone, and fortunately or unfortunately, magic happens outside your comfort zone. So if you want to create the magic that you want and be the high performer that you want and achieve the kind of high performance that you want, thank you, Shrikant, it is essential for you to step out of your comfort zone. So let me share my own little experience here. Like I'm an author, and Believe me, I never had plans or intentions of writing anything, because I have always thought, I don't know how to write, and that's not really what I want to do. But in 2015, I was on a family vacation to Cambodia, and I had visited the capital of Cambodia, which is called Phnom Penh. In Phnom Penh, we went to a place called Killing Fields. I don't know how many of you know a bit of the Cambodian history, but from 1970 to 74, there was a mass genocide. Very gruesome, very barbaric, and when you go to the Killing Fields, it really does something to you, because even now, the from 1970 to 74 was this mass genocide by a person called Pol Pot. And even now, when you go and walk in the Killing Fields, you'll actually find pieces of bones and nails. It's very disturbing, and it does something to you. As I said, there's like a huge tower that's constructed with a lot of these bones, skulls, and you keep seeing these videos and these stories. It's just too much to digest. So when I was there, I just had this thought. I said, what happens if man were to be so barbaric, especially to unknown person? What could be the outcome and the repercussion of such inhuman acts, such terroristic acts of humans? Now I was left with this thought. And after I came back, somehow this thought kept lingering in me. And unknowingly, I had weaved the story in my head. So a little voice again in my mind said, why don't you go and write about this? But again, what does your mind voice says? Oh, you're not an author. Who's going to read your book? What will people say after they read your book? And I had all these thoughts, and I said, okay, I'm not going to write. But this story kept coming back to me. Even after 9-10 months after I returned, this was still kind of lingering in my mind. And luckily for me, at that time, I chanced upon a 100-day book authoring challenge. Now, challenge is something that, most of us get excited about, and it did excite me as well, because as soon as I saw that, I said, this is going to help me to, complete my book. And that's what I wanted to do. So I immediately took up the challenge, and thankfully, I was able to complete my book within those 100 days, and Tai Chennai launched the book for us. So my first book is called A Glance at the Unknown, and it's actually a spiritual thriller, though the reason behind my writing was to do with Cambodia. It has nothing to do with the Cambodian history, but it's a spiritual thriller. I think after about 9-10 months after I launched that book, and even at the launch of the book, I had a lot of butterflies in my stomach, and I was just thinking, do I go ahead with it or not? But I think after 10 months after the launch, thank you, Ram. Yes. So after 10 months, guess what? I was actually awarded as one of the 100 inspiring authors of India. That was something I never thought of, right? I never even, because in my mind, I was like, I'm not even an author. And then, whoop, I get this award. So I was really thrilled and kicked about it. And how was I able to manage to do it? Because I managed to step out of my comfort zone. And I didn't stop there. Because when I start, thank you so much. So when I started telling people that I have written a book, many people assumed it to be a finance book, because they said, you're a finance professional with many years of experience. Where is the finance book? And so I didn't have much of a choice. And therefore, I came up with my second book, which is called What the Finance? And that is a national bestseller. Again, something that I had never thought of, right? So you never know what sort of magic you can actually create by stepping out of your comfort zone. And of course, like I said, one thing led to the other. From Glance at the Unknown, I moved to What the Finance, and then now to Get High. And my next book is on its way. So my friends, the message I want to share with you all is, it's time you step out of your comfort zone. And in fact, I coined this term, I say it's blissipline. That is, it's bliss plus the discipline that you have that will enable you to come out of your comfort zone. So these were the, some of the high level things that I thought I'd share with you, so that you can see how you can apply these keys, because these challenges, like I said, is something common for most people, but the essential part is how do you come out of them. And that is why I shared those 3 keys, which is your purposefulness, your delegation, and discipline. So go ahead, apply. Thank you, Mohan. So go ahead and see how is it you can apply it in your walk of life, so that you can go ahead and achieve the kind of high performance that you want in whatever area of your choice. So I would like to wish you all the very best in whatever that you do, and wishing you the best of high performance as well. And by the way, I also have my YouTube channel. It's called Sang Shah Sum, an abbreviation of my name, SANGSHASUM. So I keep posting stuff mostly on finance, high performance, and leadership. So if you like, go ahead and subscribe, and we could also connect on LinkedIn or any other social media if you're active. So it is great. Yes, Natarajan, all my books are available, both hard and soft copy, on Amazon as well as Flipkart. Yes, so my thing, okay, let me just put it. It's Sang Shah Sum, that is SANGSHASUM. That's my social media handle. So wishing you all the very best of high performance. It's great. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Always amazing energy that you bring to even a short 30-minute session. Of course, as I know Sangeeta as a dear friend, she does day-long sessions. She does many-day session. She's an international coach, so she travels. I've seen her travel to Manila and various other foreign destinations to do her programs. And this is the Get High book. My personal ask is, if you can get this book, this is available on Amazon. It's a great book with lots of tables and do it yourself. So if you want to get high, I think it's a good investment to make for you. And thank you, Sangeeta, for kind of making time to be with IFA Galaxy. As Shobana started the program, we also are in the business of providing gains for our clients. So we are also gain enablers in that sense. So
absolutely, yeah.
Very
yeah,
nice.
So you provide more, Babu, you provide more tangible gains, and probably mine is both tangible and intangible.
Absolutely.
Probably that's the only difference. Yes, we are all together in this. Yes.
So Sangeeta, I'm going to ask a quick question to you, right? So you spoke about high performance and get high. One of the challenges many of us face is that when you aim high, and sometimes the fear is if you fall, you get hurt. And I'm not talking real hurt, I'm talking about metaphorical hurt, right? So many people avoid aiming too high, and saying, Illapa, paravalla, let me kind of be with where I am, because if I fall down, I get hurt and metaphorically hurt. And then, there is no Iodex balm to kind of apply and get fit. So how do you advise people to say, aim high, but if you fall down, how do you then have the energy and the mindfulness to recoup? What's your advice for that?
Great question, Babu. So firstly, fear of failure is something very common. Most of us, we are all humans, so we definitely have that fear of failure in us. But if you want, you also have the strength to overcome it. So to put it very simply, let's say you're walking and maybe there is a banana peel and you haven't noticed it. You slip, you fall, and then what? You get up, keep yourself moving. All it takes for you is that action, right? To see that you're able to pull yourself again and keep going in your path. So this is no different, I would say, because it's all here. If you want, you definitely can. But then because of the fear of failure, if you're not trying, that's an issue. Like, again, for the example, I would say is how I became an author. Now, even I did have the fear of failure. And supposing I said, no, I fear the failure and I hadn't written the books, then I would have actually missed out on so many things. So you never know what is it that you're missing out unless you try. It's all right if you get hurt. You yourself can put that Iodex that you want for yourself and just keep going, because if you're focused in achieving what you want to, you must be prepared for the fear of failure as well.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta, for that superb answer. So we'll just wait for 10 seconds more if there are any questions. I know you had a extremely tough morning session and you were kind of there only in the afternoon for us. Thank you so much. IFA Galaxy values your presence this afternoon. So I'm sure we would benefit with a much longer session, I suppose. I mean, in this short time, you gave us purposefulness. Your story on being a triathlete was extremely inspiring. You told us to find purpose in what we do, find ways to delegate, and also step out of our comfort zone. So 3 very valuable messages for us to take away today and implement for a much higher, mutual fund distribution practice for all of us. Once again, thank you, Sangeeta, on behalf of all of us at IFA Galaxy, and wishing you all the very best.